Welcome back, everyone, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Today, I'm going to be revisiting the topic from yesterday, which is the MtGOX issue, and I see a lot of other YouTubers talking about it. I'm going to share some of those, share some glimpses of those videos, and I'm also going to talk about why I don't think that's going to be a big drawdown on Bitcoin, but I think it's going to be more FUD. But that's what they're trying to drive Bitcoin prices down. But that's let me share my screen and talk and just show you some of the videos that are coming out that I'm seeing. Here's several videos just looking, just searching MtGOX Bitcoin, and you could see that, $3 billion are at stake. So basically 150,000 of Bitcoin could be released, and they call it $20,000 of Bitcoin. That's $3 billion of Bitcoin. Now, am I concerned about that? I'm not really, but you could see the volume of it's an attention grabber. And I will say this, there's not a lot of people watching crypto videos right now. I'm seeing a downtrend in general, but to grab people's attention, you have to grab the big story. So let me explain why I don't think the MtGOX is going to be a main issue. You could first, let me show you all the different videos. You can see Cryptosaurus is talking about it. You could see all these other channels, crypto trading, Black Swan, they're calling it a Black Swan event, all these issues that are happening with MtGOX. And could this be a big issue that hits the nation? And you could see that we've got gets a great still of Lark. So this is Lark Davis. Sorry, Lark. But he's talking about a $3 billion August Bitcoin dump that could scare the market. And then this is Kyle K-Dub, or Crypto Zombie. Great channel. If you don't follow it, he's talked about yesterday about how MtGOX, and he does a good job of chaptering some of his videos. And he talks about how MtGOX is looking to probably send back to everyone their Bitcoin, or the Bitcoin, you can get it in Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or US dollars. So it's a big topic. It's a big story. Now, let me explain to you. Let me drop out of here. Well, let me first show, I'm going to show you CoinMarketCap. So obviously this is down. Bitcoin dominance is just 42%. The whole market, the market cap isn't even $1 trillion anymore. It's kind of sad. $888 billion. So, and Bitcoin is 42%. So the market cap is $380 billion. So $3 billion is less than 1%. All right, let's start there. All right, I'm going to drop out of this and just talk about that with $3 billion, $3 billion potential. Let's just say worst case scenario, MtGOX says we're going to give everybody back cash and we have to sell Bitcoin. And they're going to dump it all. Now, if they did it over the counter, which they should, rather than just trying to dump it onto Coinbase or Kraken or Gemini or Binance, because that would tank the price. That's what everybody's worried about, tanking the price. They won't do that. They'll do it over the counter, and people will buy. There are people like Michael Saylor and other people will be buying. El Salvador will buy it. They buy it at the $20,000 level now, and it's less than 1% of all Bitcoin, right, in market cap. So I don't think it's going to be that impactful, and that's if they sold it all. So I think this is more FUD than reality. Secondly, think about the holders of these coins from MtGOX. MtGOX, they were all bought before 2014. Okay, this is 8 years ago. I've talked about the crypto coma. Now, if you bought crypto a long while ago, 3-5 years, whatever, say you bought it back in 2020 when it's $6,000 of Bitcoin, right? If you slipped into what I call the crypto coma and woke up when it's 60,000 or even 20,000, you say, "Great, I tripled my money in 2 years." But you wouldn't experience the whole roller coaster ride in between. So that's kind of what happened with the MtGOX people, and it was obviously a terrible event for those people. But the average price getting in was only a couple $100 per Bitcoin or less. So I'm gonna say worst case, I think it was, I'll say $500. I don't even think it was that high, but let's just say it was $500. $500 in 2014 to $20,000 today. That is a 40x in 8 years. That is like 5x a year on average. That's pretty darn good return, 500% year over year. That'd be pretty nice. So there's that. Secondly, these were early adopters. All right, I'm going to try and find that image too. Maybe I could share that screen, but let's see if I can find the early adopter chart. Early adopter curve. There we go. All right, open that image. All right, so let me share that real quick. So this is the early adopter curve. I don't know if I can zoom in. Can I zoom? I don't know where the zoom button is. Anyway, you can see, okay, there's the innovators, there's early adopters, there's early majority, late majority, and the laggards. And this is a bell curve. And the innovators are like a couple percent. Let me see if I can find a better picture here. Still small. Oh, well. All right, that's probably better. So innovators are 2.5% of early and early adopters are 13.5%. So this is like 16%. The innovators were the ones that were buying before 2014. Okay, they were people just getting in early on, and we are basically in the early adopter phase. We're still not over 16%. We still need the majority to roll in. So let me drop out of that. So the point I'm making there is that these were people that were getting in and they could see the value early on. So they put their money where their mouth was, and they bought, let's just say you bought a Bitcoin for $500 in 2014, and then you lost it. It got locked up in MtGOX. Okay. You were still you're still making a great return. You knew the risks, and if you didn't learn not your keys, not your coins back then, you certainly learned it after that. That was probably one of the major events to tell people that get your coins off the exchanges. So, but if let's just say everyone gets back their coins, and they're innovators. They were one of the first. I'm going to say early adopters, but they were innovators. They're early adopters. So they saw the potential early, and they're like, the question for them is like, if they could take it back in Bitcoin Cash, or US dollars, odds are they're going to take it back in Bitcoin, because they take it back in Bitcoin Cash or US dollars. The question would be, what would you do with it? Odds are they want to put it in Bitcoin anyway, because why would you want to hold the dollar? They see that the Bitcoin is worth way more than the dollar, and they've been proven right because they bought it for $500 or less in 2014, and now it's worth $20,000. So why would you get out of Bitcoin when you were already in Bitcoin? Now you have your Bitcoin back. If you want to recoup your costs, you could borrow against that Bitcoin, borrow the $500 against your 20 grand, and you're basically made whole again. So yeah, you could have a purpose for the 20 grand, sure, but where would you put the 20 grand that it's not in a declining market in most any category right now? Stock market, real estate, everything, the dollar, all going down and losing purchasing power, while Bitcoin is going up. And they've been proven right over the 8 years that these were locked up. So the other thing about this is that these were early adopters and innovators. They weren't institutional money. So these are people that are going to have, they're not going to have a need to dump them on the market. And it's 150,000 Bitcoin is going to be scattered amongst many, many investors. I wouldn't say it's 150,000, but I would say maybe at least 10,000 different people. Who knows? But in the point of that, let's just say it's 1,000. They average out like 150 each. It's possible because Bitcoin was back then, the generation of Bitcoin was 8 times as fast. You were getting, it was probably right after the first halving in 2014. The first halving was 2013. So, because Bitcoin started in 2009. So for the first 4 years, they were producing 50 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. And then they dropped to 25 after the halving in 2013. Now they're down to 6.25. Today, they make 900 Bitcoin a day. The miners mint 900 Bitcoin a day. Back then, they minted 900 created 900 Bitcoin every 3 hours. So these early adopters, the innovators, probably have plenty of other Bitcoin that they have in their coffers. Now, I'm not going to say all of them, but they probably have other investments, other Bitcoin. So they don't necessarily need that. They've also moved on in these 8 years and not worried about that $500 or less Bitcoin, and they're happy to receive back what they get. So what I'm thinking is that I can't prove any of this, of course. And you'd have to talk to these really OG early adopter innovators that bought back 2013, 2012, 2011. And it wasn't easy to get Bitcoin back then. Odds are you were probably a miner, or you were getting local Bitcoin, or meeting in a McDonald's with an envelope of money, which is felt very shady, but you got Bitcoin that way. And they're probably going to keep it in Bitcoin. So they're going to get their Bitcoin back. They'll be happy for it. If anything, they'll borrow against it, because why would you not keep it in Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin has proven itself to be the much stronger investment over time, over those 8 years. So I see all the doom and gloom of the videos like, oh, $3 billion, they're going to dump $3 billion in the market. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that some may opt in that direction, but I don't think it's going to be the majority. And even if it was half, it's still if all of them did it, it would be less than 1% of all Bitcoin. if half of them, then you're at 0.5%. You're not going to see that many. It's kind of like the fear of Tether going under, and that's less than 10% of the market. So this is more FUD than reality. I just want to set the expectations and give you some idea of what my perspective is on the big picture. And I think that these early innovator adopters are going to hold on to that Bitcoin. They'll just be happy to get it back. They may borrow against it. They're not going to put it out there in the marketplace. They're not going to dump it on Coinbase or Kraken or Binance. So this is not a thing to worry about, but this is more FUD to drive the price down so that other people that are later to the game and the big boys that want to get into Bitcoin can at a cheaper price. So with all that said, I'm going to ask what your thoughts are. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. And I'm going to probably be doing an AMA tomorrow. I think it's going to be the free one for the month on YouTube. I think I'll start at 8:30 Eastern so that Patrick Dividetti can join me. And I hope to see you there. But with all that said, I'm going to close the door on the bureau, say follow leader one more time, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.